You had a lot of fun with the idea of John McCain as a change agent out there today.
John McCain brags. 90% of the time I have voted with George Bush.
But you voted with the Democrats in Congress 2005, 97% of the time, 2006, 96% of the time, 2007, 97% of the time. So that...
Well, I think you're conflating two arguments, right? I mean, one argument is bipartisanship. One argument has to do with change. I don't think you can dispute that I haven't voted with George Bush 90% of the time. So if you're going to ask who is more likely to change George Bush...
Who's more likely to break with their party?
Well, no, that wasn't the question, all right? That's not the point. The point is, if you believe that George Bush has run this economy into the ground and mismanaged our foreign policy, who's more likely to change those policies? And I don't think there's any dispute that that would be me. Now, if it has to do with who has broken with their party, the first couple of years that I was in the Senate, the Republicans controlled the agenda, which meant that most of those votes are votes against efforts by the Republicans on issues that I feel very strongly about. So I have no problem defending a record of saying, no, we shouldn't cut benefits to vulnerable populations. No, I don't think that we should suspend habeas corpus.
But that's not breaking with your party.
Well, I tell you what, you can get testimony from Republicans during my Illinois Senate days and my U.S. Senate days who say this is somebody who we work with, who listens to us, and who brings a different tone to politics. And for John McCain to say that he wanted to reduce the rancor in Washington, as I said in there, it sounds to me like he didn't listen to the first 2 days of his convention.
That's part of the campaign, though, isn't it?
Well, I tell you what, how you campaign, I think, foreshadows how you're going to govern.
How about looking forward? Bobby Barfield of Palm City, Florida wanted to know, he wants you to name 3 changes you would make as president that would be unpopular with the Democrats in Congress.
Number one, I think that on education, we do have to improve accountability. And I've not only supported charter schools, which the teachers' unions have proposed, but I've also said
public funding of charter schools.
But I've also said that we should look at pay for performance in terms of how teachers are rewarded and getting rid of teachers. That's not something that's popular in my party, but that's something that I think is important. I've said that we need to increase the size of our military, which politically, if it got to the floor, probably would pass. But there, as you know, a whole bunch of folks on the left who think that that is a waste of money. I think it's important for us to do. And on health care, I think that it is important for us to figure out how to reduce litigation costs. Now, I don't
necessarily... It's a tort reform.
Well, I think that finding ways, and I was working with Hillary Clinton on this before the campaign started, finding ways where we can have doctors in communication with patients who've been injured in a way that doesn't automatically send it to court, but instead figures out how can we reduce errors and improve quality. I think that's an area.
And you'll push that even if Nancy Pelosi, Harry Reid say no.
Well, absolutely. But I think I can ultimately make the case to them that that's the right thing for the overall values and goals that we want to pursue. And one of the things I'm going to insist on doing when I get to the White House is that we're going to do an audit of every bit of government spending. And I will have some big arguments with some Democrats about the need to eliminate programs that don't work, that have just gone on and on.
Can you name
because
3?
Of inertia. Well, I can name more than 3, and I don't want to start putting a target on my back.
I'll take 1.
Well, I tell you what, the way that we are currently, I think, funding Medicare is something that has to be completely re-examined, because often by paying fee for service, a lot of times what we're doing is we're not measuring, are these services that are actually needed? Are they actually improving quality? I mean, there may be ways that we can rationalize that system in a way that improves care and saves taxpayers.